All right, what's up guys? Raul here from SoCal Disc Golf. We're gonna be doing another disc review. This time it's the new C-Line MD1. All right, so what I'm gonna be doing is throwing the C-Line MD1, the Mindbender, and then the S-Line MD1 in this video. First off, just all on Anhyzer, see how they fly on Anhyzer. This red one is the Mindbender, by the way, and then the light blue one is the S-Line. And just so you guys know, these discs pretty much have the same profile. Some of the C-Line ones I felt did have a little dome to it. I think the purple one and yellow ones had a little bit more dome than this blue one. All right, we got a little bit of right to left wind here, starting off with the C-Line, which as of now, I believe is the most overstable. We're gonna try to rip it flat, see if it gets turned or just goes straight. Wow, that thing is stable. I ripped it flat and pretty hard and it just went straight and then hyzered out pretty quick. So definitely a lot more stable than the other two. Here's the Mindbender. I'm gonna try to rip it flat again. I believe this one will get a little bit of turn and then probably still fade out. So I got that one on pretty much the same exact line, flat. It kind of started to turn right out of the hand and slowly drift over to the right and then kind of just fade out straight down at the end there. All right, last but not least, we got the S-Line MD1. Rip it flat, see what she does. So that was cool. I was actually able to rip those pretty much exactly on the same angle and height. The S-Line was in between the Mindbender and the C-Line. So in order from most stable to least, I'd say it's the C-Line, the Mindbender, and then the S-Line right in between. The S-Line kind of just went straight, drifted over to the right a little bit, but faded out right away. Okay, so I forgot to get the distance on those, but in order from how far they went, this one went the least far, then these two went about the same distances, except the Mindbender was off to the right more and this was off to the left. So that just shows you that this wants to drift over to the right before fading back a little bit, and this wants to drift a little but then kind of fade out a little bit earlier. So pretty useful. This one definitely the most stable. Now we're gonna try throwing them into the headwind. So we're throwing straight into the headwind here. We're gonna start off with the C-Line MD1. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna rip all of these on a little bit of hyzer. The C-Line popped up, turned over a little bit to the right, and then faded out. So still held its integrity, but I suspect the other ones will hold over to the right a little bit more. All right, here goes the Mindbender. We're gonna try to put it a little bit more left because I think it's gonna go right, and the C-Line one almost hit that tree on the right. So we're gonna put it same angle, but a little more left. Yep, just as I thought. The Mindbender, same angle, I guess a little bit lower in height, but same angle, popped up, turned over, never wanted to come out of it. Almost kind of burned over into the ground, but I really didn't throw it as high as I want. So if it was higher, I think it would have glided over more. S-Line, we're gonna try to do the same angle, see if it wants to come out at the end or if it's gonna hold over like the Mindbender. All right, so that one I gave way more height. It did flip up and go straight and turn over to the right a little bit, but it didn't turn over like the Mindbender. It was closer to the C-Line, but the C-Line was lower, so I think on a lower line it would have turned over to the right a little bit more, but still had some good integrity at the end. All right guys, so into the headwind, now we kind of got the opposite thing where the Mindbender and the S-Line went the shortest and the C-Line one pushed the furthest. Just because it's a bit more stable, it was able to cut through the air a little bit more and still fade back at the end. The Mindbender kind of cut out way too early, so it never really had a chance. But yeah, I mean, this one definitely held up in the wind. I would say it's almost like a beat up MD3, but out of the box. So really good flight, throw it flat, just goes pretty much dead straight, even with a little bit of fade at the end. Now we're gonna throw one more shot. We're gonna try to throw it on the Anhyzer high angle, so try to push over and ride to the right and see which one of these goes the furthest on that angle. Start off with the C line, so throw it high and give it some angle. Wow, that flew for a while. I threw it high, but I would say I gave it a little bit too much angle. It kind of wanted to get down too fast. I didn't really give it a chance to glide. We're gonna throw the S line, see if we can give it not as much angle and just let it fly for a bit. There we go. That was nice. I did give it more height and a little less angle. I think because that one's a little less stable, it did still hold over pretty good rather than slowly gliding to the right. I think that one maybe got a little bit more distance, but it definitely holds over without burning into the ground. Mindbender, same thing. We're gonna give it the height, even a little less angle on this one because we know it's flippier. So I really didn't give it integrity at all. I threw it straight in the air at that tree, and it at first wanted to pan over, but then we got a right to left wind, so I ended up just dropping it down because I really didn't give it much angle. I think all those discs are good for that shot. You just got to throw it high and then put it on enough angle to hold over, and most of the time it won't burn over unless you really just give it too much. All right, final thoughts on the C-Line MD1. Overall, it is a lot more overstable than I expected it to be, so you can really hammer it flat or a little bit of hyzer and it's pretty much never going to turn over. Even if you put a little bit of turn on it, it's going to fade out. So if you're already throwing the Mindbender where this, you know, a little bit of hyzer, it's going to flip up, or flat, it's going to want to ride over to the right. This kind of has the, you know, the opposite fading finish of that. So it'll definitely be a good complement to your game if you're throwing the Mindbender. So yeah, overall, great disc. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.